Hi, thanks for joining me today. I'm Melanie from Yoga Within. Welcome to Hatha Yoga. So we'll start in a seated position today. If you feel more comfortable lying down, by all means, lie down. Just make yourself comfortable. Adjust your glutes a bit. If you're sitting up, feel free to sit on the props, the blankets, or the blocks. Place your hands on your knees or in your lap. And just take a moment to take a long, deep breath in. And then just that long surrendering, letting go exhalation. Try to let go of all the activities of your day so far. Take a moment just to connect with yourself. Allowing your mind to follow the rhythm of your breath. Remembering mindful breathing doesn't mean forcing your breath, just being aware of our breath. I breathe in, I breathe out. My mind can begin to follow the rhythm of my breathing. I can begin to find myself in this present moment, in the here and in the now. Take one more breath in and one more breath out. And then slowly let your awareness come back as you start to introduce movement into the body. And if you're seated, just dropping the chin down and bringing some movement into the neck, starting smaller and increasing to what you feel your limits are today. So it could be moving the chin from shoulder to shoulder, or even extending the chin all the way up towards the ceiling, down and across to the other side. Some of you, unless you've been cautioned otherwise, may be able to start moving into full neck rolls. And you may find that you can take your hands to the base of your neck for a little bit added support. If you're going twice in one direction, try to go twice in the other direction. And just notice if you get to those areas where there's a little bit of tightness or tension, do you find yourself holding your breath? Or can you try to direct your exhalations right into those areas, creating or giving yourself a bit of permission to let go? Let the chin drop down again, and then lift your gaze up. Roll your shoulders back a few times and forward a few times. Bring your knees up, stretch your legs out, bounce them out, rock a bit from side to side. Now, if you're more comfortable keeping your legs straight, that's what you should do. Otherwise, try to cross them the other way. As human beings, we tend to form habits, and our habits tend to be whatever's easiest for us. And yoga is about creating yourself a bit of a challenge without moving into the most pain you can. Walk your fingertips out. Take a long, deep breath in. Lift those arms up. Look up if it doesn't hurt your neck. And then cross your arms. Bring your hands to your knees. And I'll just turn sideways. And round yourself back. Lengthen as you inhale, looking up, dropping the shoulders. And as you exhale, lifting the arms up, crossing the arms the other way, squeezing the air out of the lower abdominals. Just working with your breath without forcing it. You know, you'll find that I call the breath, but I'm just reminding you to breathe. And as human beings, our tendency is keep going, I'm watching you. As human beings, our tendencies are to hold our breath. Move your spine in the way it needs to move this morning to warm up, this gentle back bend as you lift, squeezing the shoulder blades, and then squeezing the air out of the lower abdominals and really rounding, opening the upper back. Try two more. Trying to alternate the way the arms are crossed, which brings it into a bit of a brain exercise. And this next time that you're rounding, pause here, just letting go of that back bend you've created. Let the chin drop down towards the hollow of the throat. And then bring yourself all the way up, reopening the arms, and once more stretching your legs out, just bouncing the knees. Now you may find if you're sitting on a block, you may want to slide it out for this. Put your fingertips on the floor, bend the knees, heels are on the ground, toes are up, and just let your knees go to the right, bring them over across the center and then to the left. Kind of being aware of what is my movement today. Might be different than yesterday. Maybe you were outside doing some yard work, or going for a long walk or a bike ride. All the activities that we do have an effect on, how we move our body. And yes, you are coming forward. See if you can pick your hands up and move without using your arms. Good. The next time the knees are over to the right, I'm just going to slide back before I come right into the camera. Let the movement stop. If this is painful, come into a cross-legged position if that's better for you. The opposite hand, the left hand goes to the right knee, the right arm goes behind, and you gently twist to the right. This left glute wants to lift up. For this twist, try to keep it down. Bring the arms and the torso back to the center. Bring the legs to the center. Switch sides. Right hand to left, left behind. Breathing. Take a breath or two. Look right out of the corners of the eyes. Remember, use every part of your body you can. Bring it back to the center. And then once more, coming to the right. This time, leaning forward slightly, that left glute lifts up, walking the fingertips slightly behind, keeping your breath. If it's possible to lift the arms, lift them. Fingertips come back down. You make your way back to the center, letting that left glute settle. Bring up the knees, drop to the other side. Again, you can do what we did, or you can lift that right glute up, twist a little deeper, perhaps lifting the arms, leaning forward, really exploring. Bring yourself back to the center, lift the knees, have the heels on the floor, and bring your torso towards your thighs. Here, just lift the hips and send them back a bit so you truly get that bend from the hip creases and come into this seated variation of a happy baby where you're getting your knees into your armpits. And there may be some of you who want to bring the arms under the legs and rock that out a bit. And if you turn this picture around and lie yourself on the back in the picture, you would be in a happy baby. And then bring yourself up, roll the shoulders back with your heels on the floor and the knee bent. See if you can pick that left foot up off the floor and just put that left ankle on the right knee. And uncross and do the other side. Now you can see, or maybe you can't see, but I lean back a little bit. Are you able to do this movement without your hands? And if you need your hands, use them. And without leaning back, lift up, drop the shoulders, just figuring out how does my body move. And if you need to use your hands, well, then use them. You know you better than anybody. I'm one person, and I can't see you, but I've been teaching some of you long enough to know your habits. Pay attention to what you do. Notice if you're holding your breath. Notice if you're breathing. Good. Pause here, sit up tall. Tip the torso forward, walk the hips, the glutes back. And if this is your forward fold, great. If you can go a little deeper, go a little deeper. And deeper could be backing off. Don't think that just if you're in a position with your legs wrapped around your head, that's depth. Depth is where you're challenging yourself, taking yourself to that place where you're really working without going to the next step of over the edge. You bring yourself up, roll your shoulders back, sit cross-legged the opposite way that you did the last time. Hold your elbows and just keeping your face straight ahead. Just bring some movement here into the upper back. So we're not twisting our torso, just moving across the upper back. Go as fast or as slow as feels good for you. And let the movement stop. Let the arms open wide, palms face forward. Reach, reach, look to the right arm, over across to the left arm. Are they the same level? Turn the palms down, reach through the fingers, reach, reach, press down, like as if I put 10 pounds of potatoes on the top of each hand. Resist, hold those potatoes up. Now rotate from the shoulders, turn the palms to face the wall behind. Press, 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 press. Palms down, palms forward, palms up, up, up. Bend the elbows, so right angles, breathe in. This time, the whole body twists to the right. Good, back to the center, shoulders drop, twist the other way. Once more in each direction. Last time. Good, back to the center, moving the palms and the elbows towards each other. Some of you will stop here, watch those chins. I see them thrusting forward. Some of you will touch palms and elbows together, interlace the fingers, turn the palms out, bring the arms up. If this is hurting, put your hands on your hips and rock a bit from side to side. And keep in mind, there's a difference between what is discomfort and what is the most pain in our body. So learning to differentiate between the two. And you might want to lift the glutes, rock from side glute to glute, or you might want to stay firmly rooted and connected. What's best for you? Go once more on each side. Come back to the center, big breath in. And then let go, release, moving into a forward fold, whether elbows are on knees or elbows are on floor, or, maybe the head's on the floor. Take a breath or two there. And then bring yourself back up. Roll the shoulders. Bring the knees up, stretch the legs out, and bounce them out. Good, and see if you can swing your legs over to one side without using your hands. Bring your hands down and find your way onto your hands and knees. So if you need padding under the knees, by all means, put those little blankets or towels under. Normally, we think shoulders, elbows, wrists. For today, move your hands farther forward than your shoulders. Move your hands a little bit wider apart. Put the tops of your feet on the floor and send your hips way to the left. Come back to the center and send them way to the right. Let your elbows bend. Back to the center, to the left, back towards the heels, to the right. Now move the torso forward and start making these circles, making them as large or as small as you need to make them. Feel free to adjust your foundation, which happens to be whatever's on the ground. So if you need your arms wider, make them wider. If you need your wrists turned out a bit, turn them. Really start discovering the movement in your body and what feels right for you today. Next time the hips are back, reverse the direction of the circles. Think foundationally, so think to your feet and how many of your 10 toes remain on the floor as you do these hip circles. Some of you are hanging your head, but think about strengthening into the neck and keeping the neck in line with the rest of the spine. Next time, or when you feel like you've done about the same in each direction, pause at the center, open the knees wide and send the hips back. Always you are in charge. So if this child's pose doesn't feel right, the question to ask is, why do I do it? Elbows can come down. You can stack the fists, rest the head on the fists. Or you can bring the hands back to the feet, but really know what you're doing. If your head's on the ground but the butt's up, you may get more of a release through the hips and low back by elevating the torso, the upper body. So really think, what is this posture, this asana trying to teach you or offer you? Bring yourself back up onto your hands and knees. Move the knees below the hips this time. Shoulders, nope, not below your wrists, above your wrists. And lift that right hand off the floor. And take the arm out at shoulder height and just do some circles. Go forward. Notice the weight on the body. Does it stay even from side to side? You can always go down to your elbow on the left arm if that's better. Reverse the circle, go the other way. Again, you know, you may hang your head, but it's a heavy head, and if that's what you need to do, I guess you can do it. But try to build some strength. Lift the arm up. Bring it down, bend the elbow, take it through, look to the left. Bring it over and across, look at the fingers if it doesn't hurt, and take it down and through. Reach, reach, reach. One more time, take it out, and take it through. Reach, reach as you twist, and then bring that hand down. Send the hips, first tuck the toes under, send the hips back, get the heels, bottom moving to the heels, put the elbows on the floor, lift the hands and do some wrist circles. See if you can get all 10 of your toes tucked, feel the pressure in the toes, feel them working. Good, and then place your palms down, lift the elbows up, come back to tabletop, tops of feet on the floor, left arm goes out, palm faces the floor, do some circles. I mean, you're going to do both directions, so it doesn't matter if you started in the other direction. Think about the shoulder being ball and socket. How does it move? Go the other way if you haven't already. Keep the breathing. Notice the neck. Notice your spine. Notice what muscles you're using. Are you working into the core of the body? Let the movement stop. Bring the arm through, reaching, reaching, reaching. Bring it back and through. Some of you did it 3 times. Some of you might have done it more. Notice, are you really moving that upper back? Keep your breath. Notice the movement in the neck. Notice the foundation. Is it strong? Are you sinking into it? And then back and down. Toes tuck. Hips back to heels. Elbows to floor. Arms lift. Rotate. Go both directions. Flop the hands. Good, and then bring your palms back. You can stay here, you can go into child's pose, or lift the elbows, lift the knees, send your hips up and back to downward dog. And just walk that dog out a bit. Try moving your feet, maybe even mat width apart, sending those hips up and back. And then bend the knees a lot. And then begin to straighten to what's straight for you. Bend the knees a lot. Move the hands about mat width apart. Send the hips up and back. Straighten to what is straight for you. Not me, but you. Bend. And then the next time you bend the knees, bring them to the mat. And bring yourself all the way up onto your knees, giving your arms a good shake, bringing them up. And back down. And up. And back down. Good. So again, if you need padding under your knees, put a little towel or a blanket or double up your yoga mats, whatever you might need. Scoot yourself over to one side of your mat and stretch that right leg out. Good. So think roughly about the toes being in line with the front of the leg. Slide that right hand down the leg. Left hand can stay on the hip or bring the arm up. And take yourself over into this side bend. Drop the shoulders down, walk the fingers down the leg. And you may find yourself pressing the hip out, but see if you can use the strength of your leg to draw this left hip up above the left knee. If the neck's not hurting, look up to the eye of the elbow. Keep your breath. Your head might be hanging down, but can you build that neck strength by bringing the ear up towards the arm? Look straight ahead. Bring yourself all the way up. Lower that left arm down. Rotate the palm so it faces the floor. And lean. Lean. Lift the arch of that right foot. Come all the way back up. And over. Breathing. Breathing. Now, if you feel your back, good chance the bottom's sticking out and you've lost some of this connection, top and bottom half of the core. So remember, with yoga, it means union, yoking, joining the body, the mind, the breath, but also strength and flexibility. Coming all the way up, extending over, over, over. You may want to bring that right arm up. You may want to lift the right heel right up to the toes. Keep your breathing. Good. Foot comes down. Arms come up or hands to hips. That right knee comes to the floor. And we send our hips back to child's pose, stacking the fists. If there's any blood pressure issues, keep the head up above the heart. Rock the bottom across the heels a few times. And then using the strength of the legs, bring yourself back up onto the knees, roll the shoulders, and then scoot yourself to the other side of your mat. Stretching the left leg out, just think, rather than having the foot all the way up here, think about what you're trying to do as you go into the side bend. And then the legs draw in towards each other as opposed to here. Use that strength. Hip above knee, left arm slides down, right arm comes up. Again, if the shoulder hurts, you can always put the hand on the hip or in the low back. Think, is the head hanging or can you build some strength in the neck? You may want to turn the eyes up into the eye of the elbow. Use your breathing. Feel the arch of that left foot lifting, lifting, reaching. If you're looking up, look straight ahead. Resist as you come up. Lower that right arm, rotate and extend. You're allowed to smile. Breathe. And with this left hand on the leg, it's like you can feel the leg drawing towards the right knee. Bring yourself all the way back up. Over into that side bend again, drawing the shoulder down. Breathing. Breathing. And I know we didn't do this on the other side, but perhaps you want to lift that bottom arm up. Really explore your options. Bring yourself all the way up. Lower the arm, extend, rotate the shoulder, palm faces down. Feel the legs active and strong. Perhaps lifting that arm, lifting the left heel, pointing the toes, breathing, reaching as you draw the legs in, solid at the center of the body. Good. Foot comes down, arms come up, lengthening the spine. Bring the knee down. Lower the hands to the floor. Again, you can move to child's pose or tuck the 10 toes. Send the hips up and back and find your downward dog. Walk that downward dog out. Keep your breathing. If you're feeling back or hamstrings, explore. The one thing is if you do the same thing over and over, the body gets used to it, our mind gets used to it, and we start to create our habits. So explore, try different positions. Bring the knees to the ground. Keep your breathing. Extend the left arm forward and the right leg back. Good, and then bring that right knee in. Bring the elbow and the knee together. Extend it back, bring it down. Other side, right arm, left leg, bring them in, touch the elbow. So that's one option. If you feel you could go the next step, extend the left arm and the right leg, and then bring the elbow and knee towards each other. Do the same side about 7 times if you can. If you find that it's better for you to alternate, by all means, give your wrist a bit of a break as you switch. Know why you're doing what you're doing. Keep the foundation solid. The leg that's going back, is it better to point it or flex it? Where do you have more strength? Notice your breath. When you're ready to switch sides, you can go to child's pose, give your wrists a break, or if you prefer, just go directly to the other side. As you're ready to come back up, come back up. Now remember, the option is to keep the toes on the floor, the fingers on the floor, or extend and squeeze the air out of the lower abdominal. Work with your breath as much as you can. If you want to add some movement into the hands as you crunch, squeeze the fists, and then extend the fingers. Working into the fingers, working into the hands. Great. If you're having any problems with the onset of arthritis, just getting those fingers moving. Remember, movement is good. Don't beat yourself up about what it should be. Just try as much as you can to be grateful for whatever it is you're doing. Once you've done what feels like the same number, and nothing will happen if you don't do the same on each side. Well, I'm assuming it won't. Stop. And if you want to go to child's pose, by all means, some of you may be able to go into downward dog. Walking that dog out. Child's pose, the option is knees and feet parallel, or knees wider and feet apart. There's always other options that I don't mention, so feel free to explore those. Now find your way to standing and see if you can take as many tiny steps as you can. If a half fold is better for you, that's what you should do. Hold your elbows. Make sure your feet are active. They are your foundation. Your feet can be farther apart, especially back, hamstring issues. Then release the arms, walk your hands up your legs, and roll your shoulders back. Good, roll your shoulders forward, go back and forth from your toes to your heels. Good, and then let the movement stop. Just shake the arms all the way up and all the way down. All the way up and all the way down. So set your foundation. This is balance. So if you need a wall, or if you've got a chair handy, or the side of your couch, maybe you're lying in bed and you're just doing it in bed with us, whatever works. Good. Let those arms swing again a little bit. Good. Get the weight even on your feet, your foundation. Bring the arms up and bring the arms down. Bring the arms up. Good, and bring the arms down. Now shift the weight to the left foot. Bring the right foot up, lower down. Other foot comes up. Doesn't matter which one you're doing. You have two, so just alternate and down. Up and down. Use your breath. Notice your foundation. Perhaps you need a dynamic movement where you're going very fast. Perhaps it's a day where you know to slow it down is what you need. It's important to listen to what you need. Go as fast or as slow as you need to go, noticing your habits, noticing your tendencies, sending the hips out. Is that one of your habits? Or strongly lifting up from the foundation, keeping the hip above the ankle. You're lifting your arms all the way up and it's hurting. Why? Notice your heart rate. Notice your body temperature. Notice the center of the body, your heart, your core. Is it engaged? Try one more on each side and pause. Notice what you notice. Step or jump your feet wider than your hips, quite a bit wider, so the outside edges of the feet are parallel. Again, you can always modify hands to hips if that's better. Otherwise, left arm up, right hand behind, twist to the right. You can go halfway, or you can go all the way forward. Bring yourself up, center yourself, switch your arms, twisting left, halfway or all the way, coming up on the diagonal, center, switch the arms, breathing. Try to be aware if you're locking your legs or just keeping the legs strong. A locked body doesn't tend to be a strong body. Think about a tree in the wind. It needs to have a little bit of flexibility, a little bit of mobility. If it's a tree that's just stiff, it snaps in the wind. Use your breathing. Notice the arches of your feet. When you try one more on each side, if you can, some of you do 10 more on each side. Do what feels right. If you're feeling dizzy, ask yourself why you're still doing this. Maybe you didn't hydrate enough this morning with water other than coffee. Swing the arms, bend the knees. Good, elbows to thighs. Spine is straight, which includes your neck. Go back and forth from toes to heel. So I can see that I can make my feet quite a bit wider. Good, breathe. Place the palms on the thighs. Shift the weight to the right foot. Straighten the left. Back to the center. Drop the glutes. Switch to the other side. Good, bend. If you like, bring the palms together, thumb resting on the sternum. Shift to the right, arms forward and open. Back to the center, thumbs on sternum, drop those glutes, smile. Adjust your foundation if you need to. Shift the weight, open the arms. Back to the center. 2 more on each side. Keep your breathing. Remember, you're in charge. Smile. When you're finished, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop at the center, rest my elbows on the thighs. Now I realize I need to adjust my feet. You can stay here, or you can drop the arms, rest the palms on the floor, or you can take pointer and middle finger under the big toes, touch the thumbs, bend the elbows. You can drop the head. You can begin to straighten the legs. Do what's best for you. Bend the knees, torso parallel to the floor. Either put the palms on the thighs or extend the arms forward. Come all the way up with the ears between the arms. Lower the arms and heel, toe, heel, toe. Going back and forth from toes to heels. So again, this is some balance. Again, you can use a wall, you can use a chair. Weight goes to the right foot. Lift the left heel. I'll stand sideways. Good. Bend that knee slightly and take the leg back. Toes are on the floor. Torso comes up, toes come forward, foot comes back, standing up. Switch sides, heel lifts, other knee bends slightly, toes back, lean, toes forward, foot back, stand up. So that's one option. If that's what's best for you, by all means, do that. Otherwise, let's shift the weight to the right foot, lift the left heel, lift the left foot, bend the right knee slightly. Bend, take that left leg back, torso parallel to the floor. Good, bring yourself up, foot parallel to the floor. foot down. Other side, heel lifts, foot lifts, other knee bends. Bend forward, torso parallel to the floor. Come forward, foot sole parallel to the floor. Foot sole down. Keep repeating that. So 2 options, or left foot comes up, bending from the hip crease, legs straighten, arms come out. Knee bends, foot sole parallel to the floor, arms come in, leg goes out. Knee bend, foot and arms down. You don't have to stand with the hands on the hips if you don't like. Other foot comes out, bending, leaning, straightening if you like. Bend, come up, foot sole parallel to the floor, leg straightens, arms forward, arms open, leg down. Repeat it once more on each side, the way that feels best for you. Place your arms where you need them. Place your legs where you need them to challenge yourself. Breath by breath, the body moves with awareness. Try not to thrust the chins, drop the heads. Building strength through the neck, which is an extension of your spine. Noticing how the hips move in their sockets. Once you get back to your mountain pose, pause. Notice how you're feeling. Hands to the hips, arms forward, whatever's best for you. Feet are about hip width apart. Left foot stays where it is. Right leg goes back, left knee bends. Stepping forward. Other leg goes back. Stepping forward. Right leg back, left knee bends. Breathing. Step. Step. Remember, you can keep your hands on a chair or on the wall if that's better for you. Taking that right leg back, doesn't matter what leg you're on. Bend both knees. Open the arm. Back bottom knee or right knee can go on the floor if that's what you need. Arms forward, then front hip back. Back thigh forward. Step to chair. Take the torso parallel to the floor. Point the fingers to the wall behind you. Don't hang those heads. Fingers point to the floor. Fingers point forward. Torso above, or head above the arms. Come all the way back. Mountain pose, Tadasana. Good. Other leg, left leg goes back. Both knees bend. Remember, if it's better to put the left knee down, by all means. Front hip back, back thigh forward. Unclench your teeth. Unclench your toes. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Step that left foot forward, chair pose. So adjust your feet. Your knees and feet can be together or apart for back and hamstrings. Bend, bend, bend. Take torso parallel to the floor. Fingers point to the floor. They point to the wall behind. Fingers point to the floor. Fingers point forward, head above arms. Lift all the way up. Bend to the left. Come back to the center, release your shoulders. Bend to the right. Come all the way up. Add a back bend, hands to hips, lift. Use the strength of the leg, the strength of the neck. Not letting it hang and compress. All the way up. Body full, so let the knees bend to find that bend from the hip creases. Halfway or all the way, whatever's better for you. Keep your breathing. Come onto your hands and knees. Place the elbows on the floor below the shoulders. Bring the palms together so they touch. Slide one leg back, tuck the toes. Slide the other leg back, tuck the toes. Imagine that you're trying to squeeze into a wooden block between your elbows. Try not to let that head hang. Rock back and forth a bit. Keep the stability in the shoulders. Perhaps you lift one foot up, perhaps you don't. Take it down, try the other side. Try to keep the weight even on all parts connected to the ground. Take it down. Knees down. Send the bottom back towards the heel. Slide the hands under the head or slide the hands to the feet. Use the strength of your legs to bring yourself up onto your knees. Arms forward or hands to hips. Left foot sole comes to the floor. Left knee comes down. Right foot sole comes to the floor. Right knee comes down. Try one more. See if you can do it. If you need to put your hands down, by all means, that's what you should do. Let's face it, I can't see you, but I know your habits for some of you. Other foot and down. Hands to the ground, toes tuck, downward dog or child's pose. Know your options. Challenge yourself, though. You may find that you really want to do one. Well, do the other. Good. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Find your way to a full or half fold, the way that you can get there the best for you. If your back, neck, or shoulders hurt, walk your hands up the legs. Otherwise, take your arms out to a T position. Come all the way up with your palms facing the floor. Bring the arms forward. Touch the thumbs. Come up on the balls of the feet. If you know a squat is not a great thing for you to do, then sit down the way that's best for you. Otherwise, bring yourself into a squat. Maybe just come down a little bit, or a little bit more, or all the way down. And then, of course, come all the way back up. Come down a bit, maybe a little bit more, and all the way up. Lower the heels, lift the arms, bend to the right. All the way up, release the shoulders, bend to the left. All the way up, add a back bend that benefits you. Remember, you're trying to open the spine, create space, not all the pain and compression possible. Use those glutes without overusing them. Bring yourself all the way up. Bend the knees and the hips back, so readjust your foundation, wider if you need. A wider foundation gives you more strength. So see, truly know or learn to tell what you need at any given time you practice on your mat. Fold the body all the way or halfway forward, learning to practice non-harming and kindness to yourself. This time, stepping back to downward dog if you can. Remember your options. Make this downward dog a little bit longer than you did before. Step your feet back. Breathing, bend the knees a bit. Bring the knees all the way to the floor. Tuck your toes, walk your hands back to your knees. Lift your knees up. If this doesn't work, then sit down the way that's best for you. If you can lift the arms, lift them. Take a few of these little duck steps forward on your mat so you have mat behind you. If you want, go toes, heels, bottom to a seated position, or move through a few of these spinal rocks, coming back to the squat or not. You know you. When you finish in a seated position. Lift the hips, move the glutes back a bit, sit up on those blocks or blankets if you like, and go into the forward fold that benefits you. So don't go into the easiest forward fold for you. Go to the one that challenges you a little bit, where you can start to create change, both physically and mentally. Check in with your breath because it does tell you your story. Is the breath calm, even, present, or is it jagged and all over the place? Then curl yourself up, roll the shoulders back. You can lie down on the mat the way that it's best for you. You can do spinal rocks, or you can curl down slowly and mindfully. Once you're all the way down there, just adjust your neck a bit. Try to resist anything under the head. We'll move into some hip lifts in just a moment, and they are back bends, so you don't want anything under the head. You can put something under the shoulders themselves if you like to elevate the shoulders. Just take a moment, let the knees rock a bit from side to side, exploring the space between the feet. You might need them wider apart, you might need them closer together. What do you need? Let the movement stop, bring your knees into your chest, and just make some little circles. Doesn't matter which direction you start with. You can move your knees and feet a little wider apart if you like, or a little closer together. And again, exploring is really how you know what you need. If you just do the same thing, how do you know that's right today? Reverse it, go the other direction. And then pause at the center. Make yourself just as tiny as you can. Nose can come up to the knees, hands can come to the feet. Just see what's best for you. Head down, feet down, reposition. So take a moment and squeeze the air to the lower abdominals. Put your back flat on the ground. And then arch round the spine. And just a few of those pelvic tilts. Flat back and arch. Place the palms on the floor beside you. Press the back towards, not aggressively, but press it towards. And then lift the bottom, low back, mid back, upper back. Try rolling the shoulders under. Now position up the feet. We tend to cue heels below the knees because if the heels are in front, you tend to feel it in the hamstrings, and this isn't absolute for everybody. If the heels are in too close, often it's a pull in the knees. But when the heels are below the knees, you tend to have the most strength. You know, it's not the same for everybody, so do what's right for you. Position feet closer together or farther apart will depend on your back. If the sternum, center of the chest, touches the chin, you've usually flattened the neck. So move the chin slightly away, lift the hips, and create space for 1 or 2 fingers between the floor and the neck where you have the natural curve. Use your breathing. Come down mindfully, slowly, upper back, mid back, low back, bottom. Pause. Our pauses teach us a lot about ourselves. And they also save us from rushing forward into injury. We take that moment just to observe, how am I feeling? This is practicing your kindness to yourself. Pause here. If you can go into it again, go into it again. The first time is kind of the time of discovery. How am I feeling? Do I understand what this asana is trying to teach me? Use the glutes. Just don't overuse them. It's like everything, often less is more. Too much of anything is not usually good for us. And the idea is to build both your strength and your flexibility, remembering. Some of you do go into chest expander, but if you do, know why you're doing it. Don't do it because I've said to. What is it teaching you? What is it doing? Back bends are stimulating postures. They open the front body. And then release, coming back down, pause. You might need to reposition your neck, rock a bit from side to side. You might need thighs to chest. So second time, you know how you feel. You can reposition to give yourself some greater strength. And if you are able to do it a third time, hopefully you connect with your breath, and that's when the magic occurs from the inside out. Now, some of you may go into the full wheel. If that's an option for you, by all means do it. But if you're doing it because I'm saying it, you should really question that thought process. When you come down mindfully with control. Pause, observe, and then move through what you need. You may find that you need a happy baby position where you're rocking a bit, perhaps even straightening one leg. Remember, happy baby, the name is a bit deceiving because often I see people doing it and they don't look like very happy babies. So the idea is to feel strong and happy in what you're doing, not the most pain. Some of you may want to stretch your legs up, extend your arms through the legs, directing your breath into the lower belly, tipping the chin down. If there's not strain in the neck, you can lift up off the floor, just really breathing into that lower belly area to help release the back, massage those internal organs a bit. Head comes down, arms come up, legs come together. As the hands move apart, the arms can go into a T position or to the floor with the palms facing the ceiling. If your back hurts, bend the knees, lower the legs down. Otherwise, straight legs come down. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, bring your right thigh to your chest, your hands to your shins, and stretch it out. Go to the other side, left thigh to chest, open. This time when the right thigh comes to the chest, pause. Keep that left hand on the knee, put the right arm on the ground, and twist to the left. Head can look to the right, to the center, or to the left. Just really exploring, what is it I need through my neck? Bring it back to the center, snug that right thigh to the chest, and switch. Bring the left thigh to the chest, keep the right hand on the knee, place the left arm down on the ground, palm up or down, and twist to the right. Breathing. Where do you need your head? Left, right, or center, back arm, palm up or down, hand on the side body, back to the center, thigh to chest, right thigh to chest, just even out that twist. Either place your feet on the floor and stretch yourself out, or just stretch the legs out, stretch the arms out, take a deep breath in, tighten everything as tight as you can. And a big, long, loud letting go exhalation where you just let go of the practice, let go of the body, the asanas. And then find whatever is most comfortable for you for Shavasana. If you need any last movements to allow you to settle in comfortably, by all means do that. You can bend the knees for your back. You can use bolsters under the knees, legs up the wall. Find that place where you can return to your breath, inhaling peace, exhaling as you release. Let the warmth of relaxation move gently within you, letting go from the inside out. Visualize that beautiful white light of peace that shines brightly within your heart. Give your mind permission to rest within that light. Give yourself as long as you need in Shavasana. Thank you so much for sharing your time, your practice with me today. If you enjoy our classes, remember, go subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'll see you next time. Namaste.